right, Jake, good to have you back on Leadership Care. I always say this, I'm getting tired of hearing me say it. It's one of my favorite questions because I've had, as I'm sure you have, a whole bunch of influencers. Some come for a minute, just at the right time. Like you said before,
Yeah.
that music you might remember at a certain time, or it could be somebody for a long time. Can you share with us, two, three or so people that have influenced your life?
Yeah, absolutely. The first one that comes to mind, like I told you, I got to work for Josh Groban, who is a celebrity and a singer and a wonderful human being. And he brought me on. I'd run a theater company, that I started in Seattle, and it had been successful and wonderful. But he brought me on to run his foundation because he felt that we just had a connection, and that for whatever reason he saw something in me to do that. And we're able to grow his foundation so dramatically together. But it was really because he was willing to use whatever capital he had to invest in helping people and helping kids. And his goal was to use music and arts and dance to help as many programs as he could around the US. We dramatically expanded his foundation, my time there. But it was really because he showed me that just because you get power and you get fame, like, it doesn't change your humanity. I think for people who may be lacking in their compassion and their empathy, when they get to that level, it enhances that that lack of empathy. But when you have a lot of it to begin with and you become famous, those people really do try to give back whatever they can, and they really commit to doing good for the world. And I was able to see that, and it was really inspiring for me to get that. And another person I think of is our program manager in Morocco, who I was just with last month. His name is Halim Sabai. He started a school out there. He comes from a village, grew up with nothing, and he has become such a leader in that community to the point where he started our school in a cafe that he ran, and it's now expanded into this multi-million-dollar facility in the middle of the Sahara Desert, um, where he's turning around not only all these kids' lives, but won a huge prize from a construction company called Wholesome for the architecture of a new building there, and is fighting back the environment and desertification, which is a huge issue in the Sahara. And it's just because he's a great person, and he doesn't let anyone. He faces so much adversity on a daily basis, and he never lets anyone get to him. He always looks to the solution. He always figures out a way to make things happen, and you never see him struggle. You just see him accept the reality and then find the solution. And that's something I've really learned from a lot. And, he runs one of our programs, but I would say, like I said earlier, all the people that run our programs really are the people I learned from the most, because they're the most inspiring people that I've ever had the chance to meet.
Yeah, that's magnificent. And what's the chances of a Jake meeting him in Morocco
Yeah.
to make that happen?
Right. That's what's so amazing, though, when we give things a chance, no matter how risky they might seem. It's incredible what can happen.
There's one of the Einsteins
Yeah.
that we were
Right.
talking about.
Exactly right. He sure is.
Anybody else?
Honestly, I could go through each one of our program directors one by one, but I think it would take too long. So I'll leave it there for this time.
All right. How about this last question? If you can meet
Yeah.
anybody you haven't met yet, who would you meet?
Ooh. Wow. That's a great question. Um, Anyone I haven't met yet that I would meet? Gosh, that that is so difficult. Now, do they have to be alive, or can they be living or dead?
You can be dead or living.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me not to want to do like a Mozart or a Beethoven or something like that, because when I look back at that level, or a Bach, that level of musical genius, just to understand where that comes from, it's really something. At the same time, like a Prince or someone of that caliber would also just be like mind blowing. Because those are people I didn't get to meet, and I'm really lucky in the work I do. I get to meet a lot of my heroes musically, but there's some that obviously I'll never get the chance to meet, and that's probably where my mind would go.
Good choices. Great to see you, man. Thanks for joining the
You
series.
too, Mark. My pleasure. Anytime.